Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining me today. I have got a video that is really technical. Bear with me, use the subtitles. It's time, as we see an entertainment industry changing, it's time that we talk about the LLMs, the large language models, and how AI tokens and computing needs to be factored into the budget. Yay, let's talk about it. So estimating the average cost of computing a 30-minute AI-generated narrative episode involves several variables, including the type of AI tools used, the computational resources required, and whether you're focusing on generation alone or including additional elements like editing or voice synthesis. Since this question specifically asks about computing the episode, let's focus on the computational costs, hardware, cloud services, API usage, rather than broader production expenses like labor, licensing. However, exact costs can vary widely depending on the approach. So let's provide a range based on available insights and reasonable assumptions as of today. Key factors affecting cost. The AI model used generating a narrative story, like an episode, TV episode, webisode, you name it. Generating a narrative could involve a large language model, LLM, for script writing, like GPT-4 or similar, plus additional AI audio narration. Think text-to-speech, like 11 Labs or Synthesia. More complex models with higher token processing demands increase costs. Really focus on that. To compute resources, like costs differing based on whether you use cloud services, think AWS with Amazon or Azure. These on-premises hardwares like GPU, subscription-based APIs with per-use pricing, think LTX, Runway. Let's think about length and complexity. Like a 30-minute episode, it typically equates to about 4,500 to 6,000 words, assuming 150 to 200 words per minute for narration, translating to roughly 6,000 to 8,000 tokens for LLMs, where one token equals about 75 words. Complexity like this, dynamic dialogue, it might require more processing. Let's go to inference versus training. Since this is about generating an episode, we're going to look at inference costs, running a pre-trained model rather than training a model, which is far more expensive and typically a one-time investment. So let's look at cost estimation approaches. Cloud-based LLM inference, that's cloud-based large language model inference. This token-based pricing, many LLMs charge per token. For example, OpenAI's GPT-4 pricing in 2025 might be around 0.01 to 0.03 per 1,000 prompt tokens and 0.03 to 0.06 per 1,000 completion tokens. That's just based on trends for right now. Adjust it for inflation and demand for a 30-minute episode. Like prompt input, 6,000 tokens times 0.02 divided by 1,000, we're thinking 0.12 cents. All right, sounds affordable-ish. Completion, your output will be about 6,000 tokens at 4 cents, at 1,000, 24 cents. Total per episode, we're looking at 36 cents. Stay with me. Multiple iterations. If drafting and refining the script takes 5 to 10 runs, cost could rise to $1.80 to $3.60. Audio generation. Adding AI narration like 11 Labs at 30 cents per 1,000 characters, we're thinking another $9. Now, total with audio is going to run us $10 to $13 per episode for basic cloud inference and narration. Sounds technical? I know, deep breath, stay with me. Number 2, cloud GPU instances, hourly rates, Running a model on a cloud GPU like AWS, that's Amazon. This is where AWS ML.G5.48x large at 1650 per hour in 2024 might take 2 hours, depending on a 30-minute episode. Depending on efficiency and model size, we're now looking at a cost around $16.50 to $33 per episode. Scaling, if optimized, this could drop to under an hour, reducing costs to about $10 to $15. Where I want you to let your mind go with this is that there is such a shift happening in entertainment. I know that so many of you have a story to tell. You have brand new characters, storylines. This isn't the same old IP. Think movie edition number 10, a series prequel, none of that. And you want to get your story made. As you're working out that budget, when you're making your line item budget, it is key for you to figure out what is it going to cost to compute the tokens for the production. It's a little thing, but in the long run, it might just add up. I think you'd be wise to factor this into your budget. Part 3. What about subscription tools? AI video narrative platforms. Think Synthesia or Deep Brain AI. These plans are $30 to $150 per month. That includes video and audio generation. Assuming 30 minutes uses half a month's credits on a $60 plan, then we're looking at about $30 per episode, though this often bundles rendering and hosting, not just a raw compute. Let's go into, you could also look at Runway and LTX as someone to help with that for subscription base. Let's go on to on-premises hardware. The amortized cost using a high-end GPU like an NVIDIA A100, $10,000 to $20,000 over 3 years, but would be 26,280 hours, making that cost come down for a 1 to 2 hour episode. We're thinking 38 cents to $1.52 per episode. Add in the energy, which is about 10 cents to 20 cents per hour for power, making it about 50 cents to $2 per episode. Here's the caveat. This assumes you already own that hardware and excludes setup and maintenance. Average cost range. Okay, wild average cost range. The low end API-based minimal features of $1 to $5, script only, no audio. Mid-range, an API plus audio or light GPU use could be $10 to $30 per script plus basic narration. High-end, heavy GPU or complex processing, we're thinking $30 to $50 full episode with iterations and high-quality output. Okay, so that brings us to, what's the final answer? The average cost of computing a 30-minute AI-generated narrative episode in 2025 is likely going to be in the $10 to $50 range, with $20 to $30 being a reasonable midpoint for a typical setup using cloud APIs or light GPU resources, including script generation and a basic narration. Costs could drop below $10 with optimized subscriptions or your owned hardware, or exceed $50 with premium tools in extensive revisions or high-end compute demands. Without that, I think this is a practical assumption. And here's my biggest takeaway for you. If the industry is changing dramatically by the day, and you are going to just ebb and flow with these changes, when you're doing your budget, which is reasonable, normally on a typical film, television, web series, there's a line item budget. Now in that line item budget, when we're thinking about our talents, music licensing, any permits, now we need to think about what it cost, the tokens, what it truly costs, tokens, to do that AI generation, to do that cloud computing, to use that large language model. I would love to know from you, what are you using? Who do you subscribe to? And what's been working best for you? I know I'm hands-on in it daily, and I love seeing how we talked earlier about training your language model. I love seeing how the model is learning to work with me and how I prompt. I haven't used that many presets in prompting, but I do like the results that I'm seeing. Yes, the eyes are still strange. Yes, the spelling still needs an edit. And yes, hands still seem to be really difficult for the model. Onward. I'm looking forward to training me to train the AI to create the image and the look that I want. Cinematic, of course. This was long and technical, but I feel like the more we train ourselves, remember when we went from using film to digital cameras and then it was all the rage of the red camera? Here we go. It's time to learn a new one. Let me know in the comments what you think.